Packimpressions welcomes you. The global virtual print and packaging expo is packed with excitement, with virtual exhibition booths showcasing latest products and technologies. One can explore, network, and connect with the industry. The Power Pack knowledge sessions are a real treat. Experience the leaders of the industry speak, debate, and share their experience as well as their lifetime experiences. Enjoy the 3 days of extravaganza, experience the 3D virtual technology at play, and make the best of it. Welcome aboard. Packimpressions welcomes you. The Global Virtual Print and Packaging Expo is packed with excitement, with virtual exhibition booths showcasing latest products and technologies. One can explore, network, and connect with the industry. The Power Pack Knowledge sessions are a real treat. Experience the leaders of the industry speak, debate, and share their experience as well as their lifetime experiences. Enjoy the 3 days of extravaganza, experience the 3D virtual technology at play, and make the best of it. Welcome aboard.
Yep. Hello. Good morning, everyone. It's really a pleasure to, start the much-awaited Packimpression, which is a global virtual printing and packaging expo, which is being conducted here by us, the Last Mile Solutions. I would like right now to kickstart this event with the opening session from Mr. Atul Maheshwari, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Last Mile Solutions. And he will give a brief overview about the whole objective and the inspiration behind this event. I would welcome Atul. Please take over from me. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Very good morning. It is my pleasure to declare Open Pack Impressions. It's open now. This is the first global virtual packaging and printing expo. In fact, as we know, normal travel and the people's movement has gone out of the gear completely. And in such times, we have decided to take this initiative. This is a unique initiative in the times of COVID. And I mean, that's what we thought, that because this time is such that people are feeling to connect in a newer way, and there are a lot of things that they need to exchange and they need to figure out. So there has to be an initiative. So that's why this initiative, Packimpressions. Okay, I welcome everybody, all participants from all over the world who have taken pain and decided to join us, and we really appreciate that support from everyone. All the participants are here to exchange their experiences, what they've taken not only over the years but actually especially in last 4 to 5 months. That's one of the most that's the most important experiences that we are taking, all of us these days, and which is changing our lives in many other ways. Just to give you an overview, the participants that we are going to have are almost from 30 plus countries. Okay, there are going to be many thousands as we speak. I mean, more than 1,200 people are live watching this, and there has been more than 12,500 plus pre-registrations till yesterday, and we expect many other thousands to come and join us and participate and support us. This expo brings the packaging companies, brands, OEMs, design agencies, and various other institutions together on one platform. And this is like this is like a near to real expo that you can experience. It is not a regular webinar connecting each other, but then there are multiple experiences. So once you visit the exhibition hall, then you get to realize that what it is. Then the conference setting is also in a very different setup that is being organized, and I think this is going to help each other to connect in a delightful manner and share experiences. The fact that COVID-19 pandemic has dramatically changed and reshaped the packaging needs also. As we pass through this great public health and economic crisis world over, we expect packaging design and material usage change in fundamental ways. As we understand also
by 4 distinguished members, including Nerida Kelton, who is the Executive Director of Australian Institute of Packaging, Mr. Michael Dosser, right, General Manager of the Result Group, Warwick Armstrong, who is the Senior Business Executive of Plantic Technologies, and Alan Adams, who's the Sustainability Director, Asia Pacific of Sealed Air. So Ralph, it's my pleasure to welcome you along with your entire panel to Packimpressions, and it's over to you.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome wherever you are throughout the globe. I hope you'll enjoy today's session, and I hope you and your family are very well at this time. I'm here representing the Australian Institute of Packaging, and I think it's appropriate we just start with a brief explanation of who we are. We're a not-for-profit organisation. We don't have any corporate affiliations or government affiliations. We're here to support packaging technologists, packaging engineers, and people in the packaging industry with education. We believe that with education, we can make significant changes, not just to sustainable packaging, but to saving food waste and many other topics around the world. Now, the first part of my brief, I'm going to touch on packaging targets that should address. All right, safe food packaging, it's there, it's straightforward, the clues are there, but the stresses I would put out
would encourage you to consider to minimise food waste all the way through the supply chain. Next slide, please. The next
Michael is a top-notch headhunter specializing in the print and packaging world. He's based out of Australia, and he is also the CEO and co-founder of Connect APAC, which is a top-notch specialist headhunting firm based out of Australia. So Michael has a lot of experience. I have had a lot of engagement with him prior to setting up this session, and today he's going to talk about how recruitments are done in the print and packaging industry. This is going to be a very interesting session for both seasoned professionals in the industry as well as for budding youngsters who are looking for jobs straight out of college. So without wasting much word and much time, I hand over to Michael. Michael, welcome to Packimpressions, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Pankaj. Much appreciated. If you just give me a quick second here, I'll share my screen for you all. Okay, I think you should all be on there. You should all be able to see that there. So obviously, Pankaj, thanks very much. Thank you for everyone for your time today, tuning in live, watching this in the video afterwards, whatever it may be, and obviously thanks to the Packimpressions team for for hosting such a great event, and obviously letting myself and Connect be a part of that. So as Pankaj touched on there, I'm going to do obviously a bit of a talk on the people in the packaging industry, how best to hire people moving forward for your business, and I suppose that a lot of the challenges that employers have been facing currently, historically, and obviously some ways that we can actually go out and encounter those as well. So obviously, yeah, for those who haven't spoke to me previously, I'm Mike Cunningham, and I run a specialist recruitment company and work solely in that kind of
from the Indian Print Manufacturers Association, which is commonly known as IPAMA. We are fortunate enough to have Mr. S. Dayakar Reddy, who is the president of IPAMA. In fact, he is, I think, one of the, maybe the only IPAMA president who has been president for 3 years. That's what I saw very recently. And he, in fact, I mean, I was shocked to hear he actually has been tested positive, asymmetric COVID positive, and he's quarantined, and he's but been sincere enough and generous enough to have accepted, participating in this session. There's going to be a session on where he's going to touch upon two very critical aspects about our industry. One, he's going to talk about environment and sustainability, which are becoming buzzword for the industry, and he's going to talk a lot because I believe, seeing this industry from close quarters for long, been working a lot for many years. I think the Indian printing industry is way behind its environmental responsibility. I think Mr. Reddy is going to touch upon that, and he's also going to touch upon some of the the issues. I won't call issues, or some of the policies which work towards the betterment of industry. So a little bit, couple of words for Mr. Reddy. Mr. Reddy is the owner and CEO of Gutenberg Machinery, which is a company selling equipments out of India, and is also owners of Sai Industries. He's based out of Hyderabad, and without wasting too much of time, I would like to welcome Mr. Reddy into the floor. Welcome, Mr. Reddy. Good to have you.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Pankaj and team. It was, yes, I've been tested positive just 48 hours before, but time will speak. We have to be positive. I'm always a positive person in my life. We have been faced so many incidents. In fact, even IPAMA also, if you all remember, in 2017, November 9th, Mr. Modi has announced demonetization, and our show was in February. So whole India, none of the shows has been took off. Only print pack we did in the same dates. I think that time it was in end of January, and we did, and we have proved 100% right that associations, if at all they have a well planned and well dedication, things can change in time. Okay, now today I wish your team for successfully conducting virtual show also simultaneously with this seminars. Now I would like to point out few things. First of all, you all know from last 6 months we have been talking about only one thing: PPE.
Session. I'm extremely excited and really glad to have a very good friend and an old industry colleague, Mr. Tim Clapp, who I had the honor of working together, although not in the same company, but in the same industry some time back. Tim is a veteran from the printing industry, and he has worked with all the major OEMs in the printing space, whether it's analog, digital. He right now is the managing director is a Belgian-based flexographic printing machine manufacturer, and is officially posted in Kuala Lumpur, but he was traveling to Thailand when the pandemic started, and I was just chatting with him. What a great way to get quarantined. So Tim, I hope you have had a good break and all excited. We have been working together for this print pack impression. Welcome you now on the stage and take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pan, for the very nice introduction.
Tim, your mic is mute.
Oh.
No, we are not hearing you, Tim. I think there's some.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. So,
Akash, is it mine or can you hear Tim?
Can you hear?
I can't hear Tim.
I'm indeed based in Thailand now because of the situation, and normally in Kuala Lumpur. Just one correction: NPS is a Dutch company based in the Netherlands, not in Belgium. It's nearby, but it's based in the Netherlands. Let me share my presentation. Can you all see this? Okay, then. So what I would like to present to you today is how connectivity or sensor technology will transform and I think even disrupt the label print production. Yeah, so of course this whole sensor technology is having a big influence on all kinds of production environments. You read more and more about smart factories, and which also is have an effect in the printing world. But I will specifically have it today about the label print production. And the slide.
TVS, Lenovo in his previous role. He has over 25 years of experience in the brand space and today now leads Kantar. And he's today going to talk on a very interesting topic as to how this whole pandemic situation has started affecting consumer behavior. So without taking too much of time, I would like to welcome Mr. Ramakrishnan onto the stage. Mr. Ramakrishnan, welcome to Packimpression.
Thanks, Pankaj. That was a very generous introduction, and it's a pleasure and honor to be here amidst all of you. Just to give a very brief introduction on what I do in Kantar, I represent a division called World Panel, where we have a panel of about 83,000 households, and we track what they buy in terms of their FMCG products every month, which means what atta, what toothpaste, what soap, etc. We build a database out of that, and from purchase we derive insights. So that's the fundamental role that we do. So most of my talk today is going to be based on what we have from our data. Please allow me to share my screen in a moment, please. Okay, so basically I'm going to talk to you about what happened as to purchases during, so you see a lot of P's here: purchase, pause, period, persist, and pack impressions also is a P. And in the midst of all this, we have a big P, which is the pandemic, which is why we are having this discussion. So as a result of this pandemic, what exactly happened to purchase? Did it pause? Was there a period? Is it going to persist? And what is the implication that it's going to have on packaging from the eyes of a person who knows nothing about packaging? So to that extent, you'll have to bear with me if I say some things which are very juvenile from a packaging industry standpoint, but I'm just leaving you with thoughts on what has happened in terms of purchases. Now, sorry. So this is, you can call it like a timeline of the COVID situation in India, starting as early as the 2nd of March, and I'm closing it in August 1st because it keeps continuing as unlocked versions and so on and so forth. Now, there are multiple points here. I'm not going to bore you to death talking about what each one was and
several leading jobs in the market, starting with HP's consumer marketing VP for Asia Pacific. He was with Pepsi. He is joined also by Mr. Sangam Khanna, who is the current Deputy Managing Director of Komori India. Then we have Ms. Lilak Sapir, who has been my colleague, has been, for many years. She was, when we were together, colleague, has been, consultant, both for ISO and G7. Privilege and honor of introducing the entire panel. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and looking forward to an interesting session as I hand it over to Professor Lakshmi Priya to take this over. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pankaj Goswami. Good evening, everybody. I would like to share my screen. Let me put my presentation on. So, good evening, everybody. We are on the packaging and printing industry in the post-COVID world panel. We are going to see what can help the industry thrive in the new normal, what new operating models will become necessary. We have the 4 panelists as they were just introduced. For the benefit of the audience who are from different industries, I would like to give a brief introduction to the print and pack industry. Printing has come a long way from letterpress. So print is no more ink on paper. Printing is digital, that is the online version of it or the soft copy e-publishing version of it. So what you see on the e-commerce websites are all the designing and pre-press areas of printing. And whatever you see, whatever industry you talk about, there is print in it, either for communicating color, information, technically, or even instructions. So print is prevalent. Today with the industry 4.0 era, the print 4.0 version of the print industry, technologies including printed electronics, 3D printing, and augmented reality have become a reality in the print industry as well. These are some of the work that my students have done as projects. So it has entered even into the academia, where students do small projects on those areas. Artificial intelligence, IoT are also part of the printing industry. Coming to the packaging industry, innovation, challenges in packing different kinds of products for not only its production, but also for brand value, appeal, making it eco-friendly, tamper-resistant, and several such functionalities are incorporated into packing. We see each of these
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are now on to the last but a very, very interesting session that I was looking forward, since the beginning of this event. And I'm extremely pleased and privileged to introduce the new speaker. He has been, if you can say, not for having any alternative better words, he has been considered a guru in the packaging design industry for now several decades. He is a very, very prominent person in the industry and has excelled in his long and distinct professional career, which had over 2 decades with Procter & Gamble as the Global Associate Director for all packaging design partnership, which essentially oversees the entire relationship of Procter & Gamble, which is one of the largest consumer packaged goods industry in its association with packaging industry worldwide. He has been, post his career with P&G, has been associated with several companies as it's on the board. And he's also has been a faculty member and a guest instructor at an MBA interactive intensive program of the University of Notre Dame. He's currently running a boutique consulting firm called Better View Strategic Consulting, where he advises brands and packaging industries on how to use design as a strategic
energy by all of those who are tuning in to this this virtual presentation. First, I want to greet all of you. Good evening, good afternoon, and for some of you, perhaps good morning. So glad you could join I hope this this presentation finds you safe and healthy in these extraordinary times in which we're living, and those which have created a virtual exposition as opposed to one where we might have been able to enjoy connecting and meeting each other physically and in person. As Pankaj had mentioned, I'm going to share my presentation quickly here. I have a background in design and packaging, but also have a background in operations, supply chain, and procurement, as well as innovation at P&G. My career covered a left brain and a right brain kind of perspective. What I want to walk you through is some context about the packaging industry, and I'm speaking to a worldwide community of experts. So I bow to your expertise and your perspective, and also hope that there might be some nuggets in what I share that might be inspiring for you to kind of carry and leverage packaging in a more strategic way to drive
$1 multinational company in the packaging space. DJ is going to be joined in this panel.
Adjectives, but anyway, I mean, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Pankaj alluded to the subject of, the today's panel discussion, which is essentially around the new emerging role of packaging within the CPG marketing mix. So, within the consumer packaged goods industries, marketing agency. And so maybe, gentlemen, if you could kind of take a few seconds to kind of talk about yourselves. Let me start with Simon. Simon, could you kind of just give us a quick overview of your background, your agency, and what it does?
Sure. Morning, everyone. Good to be on this session. Looking forward to it. So, quick background on me. I'm Australian, so don't hold that against me. I am based in Singapore at the moment. Most recently, I've worked for WPP, so Landor and Fitch, if you're aware of either of those two agencies, and recently moving to Cowan independent agency. Ex-designer, moved into brand strategy, and I think all of us would agree that we're currently in some very, very interesting and changing times, and we'll probably speak a little bit.
So very much involved in our graphics business. The last 3 years, I was the head of the graphics business for HP in Asia Pacific. So very much involved, of course, from a vendor's perspective in the packaging space, and I will continue to do that from here. So looking forward to discussing this topic with you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot, happening in the space of digital print technologies, kind of, getting into the packaging space.
Where I was an India president. And then for the last couple of years of my corporate life, I ran Asia for a Samsung agency called Chell. And over the last 3 years, I've been really an entrepreneur. And only 15 days ago, I've launched my second company, which is a gig company called Together, which essentially provides advertising services through a platform for small businesses and startups. So that's a large part of the economy that I felt was underserved by the traditional ad agency setup. And Together really aims to service that requirement in India and globally. So fingers crossed on that venture. I'm looking forward to being part of this discussion. Some great guys to chat with. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Shiv. And last but not the least, Rahul.
Hi, good morning, and happy to be here. I've spent close to about 12 or 13 years now specializing in the area of shopper marketing. I used to run Ogilvy's activation and shopper business in India. And I was there for about 9 or 10 years. More recently, about 2 years ago, I launched my own shopper specialist practice called FAT. Over the last 12 or 13 years, I've worked with a lot of FMCG brands in the shopper marketing space, such as Coca-Cola, Unilever, Mondelez, GSK, Britannia. I was speaking with DJ yesterday, and he asked me, how does shopper marketing really fit into the entire context of this conversation? So, while we're talking about packaging, the kind of stuff that we do is more the surround sound, around the packaging in the store.
Absolutely.
And that's how I'd like to introduce what I do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Wonderful. That's a great way to kind of get started. So let's dive into the subject to kind of, cue the session. I'd kind of, like to kind of share a screen. So hang on, please. I hope all of you are able to view my screen, including the audience. Before we start,
There are people from Singapore, India, and it's going to be very interesting. For a change, I'm a part of the panel this time, so I'm not going to go hide behind the screen. I'm going to be participating with each and every one. So this session is going to be basically speaking on innovation in design and how design has played a role in part of building brands. I think that's what we're going to talk about. And we got a really very, very talented and diversified team here. And I'm first pleased to introduce Mandeep Singh. So Mandeep is the executive director, creative director of Last Mile Solutions, and he has been in the creative side of business for several years, working with global companies, agencies like Shell, Ogilvy, and it's my pleasure to have Mandeep as a co-moderator for this session.
Yeah, hi. Hi, hello. Hello, everybody.
Then we have David Nicosia. David is a name which doesn't need any introduction in the packaging design world. He has been a pioneer in building many great packaging brands. He's a co-founder and CEO of Nice. He shuttles between New York and Singapore, and he's stuck in Singapore for some time now. Great to have you, David. It'll be wonderful to hear from you as we go around. Then we have Manu Chaudhary from CDC Printers, an export-oriented print and packaging company. We have to hear from him from his own mouth as to what he does. Then we have Damika. Damika is he comes from the tiny country of Sri Lanka down south, but he has been, I came to know that he has been servicing customers across 52 countries out of Sri Lanka. And he was an award-winning, design house. He's got some wonderful initiatives which he has done, which I'm going to talk specifically during the talk. He has been essentially pioneering building brands out of companies which are really in remote parts of the world, and he has been taking these brands across global markets. And last but not the least, we have Ms. Chong. She is manager in charge of production and client servicing in Rex, which is a Japanese printing, packaging, and prototyping company. Very, very interesting service which they provide, and I will let her speak about when we get into the introduction. So, Mandeep, why don't we start? Why don't you say a few things about who you are, and what do you think, and how we go about this?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for giving me this opportunity, Pankaj. So, to introduce myself, my name is Mandeep, and I'm in this industry of advertising, and I would say not only print. I talk about advertising.
times for almost every industry that we can think about. Right, lot of relationships, whether it's between customers and suppliers. Supply may change in this new norm, allowed to meet, so it's literally virtual. Right, to talk on this very important topic, we have a stalwart from the advertising agency, and now for almost a decade, a serial entrepreneur. He has been CEO of Starcom West for more than 10 years. And for the last 10 years, he has been in the startup space. And he himself calls himself as an entrepreneur helping other entrepreneurs build business models. He's right now incubating and as a co-founder of very exciting sales automation technology, which I have seen a sneak view of it. I'm keenly looking forward to whenever that product comes ready. Without wasting too much of time, let me introduce here Ravi Kiran. Welcome, Ravi. It is a pleasure really having you here, and the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj, and very happy to be here. Welcome everybody who's on the session this afternoon. So after that rather glowing introduction given by Pankaj, I hope I can live up to the expectations. When I think of our world today, this is really what I see. I mean, life and business before COVID was quite tough and messy anyway. And now many of us are fighting just to stay afloat under the double load of the pandemic and massive financial stress, right? It's almost like we are inside a tunnel and there is, fair amount of darkness and dinginess around us. That we will come out of this situation and out of the tunnel is a given, right? But how we will re-emerge, in what shape, is as of now quite uncertain. In fact, even after a vaccine is available to the masses,
now a specialist in the procurement industry. So without much of delay, let me give you a quick background of our next speaker. His name is Mr. Radha Mohan Gupta, who is a veteran in the consumer packaged goods, having had almost like 30 years of work experience in supply chain management, procurement, operations. He has had a distinguished career in leading, global consumer packaged brands across different categories. Currently, the regional procurement director of South Asia. Radha, he's a batchmate from National Institute of Technology. Those days it was REC Calicut, and he has done his post graduation in management from SP Jain in 1993. And without much of delay, I'm pleased and honored to have Radha joining us here at Packimpressions. Radha, great to see you, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Pankaj. And thank you for the nice introduction, Pankaj. Hope I'm audible and visible properly to audience.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Let me start with thanking, of course, my friend Pankaj and Packimpressions for inviting me on this forum. I would like to also thank the audience, which is online and ready to listen. Let me directly start over here with my presentation. Is it my slides are visible?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay. So, friends, the topic is importance of sustainable packaging in times of COVID-19. Before we actually go into the topic, the sustainability, I think this is the buzzword. Now, you can call it buzzword, or even you can look at it that in today's world, the sustainability is the purpose of the business. Sustainability is
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We are now into the last run. We're into the penultimate session, which I believe is going to be a very exciting one. So we had some wonderful session over the last 2 days, which essentially talked every aspect about printing and packaging industry, right from strategy that needs to be adopted, during this, I would say, very, very uncertain times, to looking at various kind of opportunities, what is trending in terms of the industry, in consumer behavior. We looked at how design and innovation is playing a major role in this industry. And it's very appropriate that we are having this session. Coincidentally, it's basically is going to put together industry. It's a very, very heavily SME dominated industry. In this COVID times, there has been specific challenges and opportunities. Now, to discuss that, we have a very, very interesting panel, which is going to be moderated by Mr. Jacob George, who is the Director Marketing of Press Idea, which is a printing and packaging publication. A very good friend of mine. Welcome, Jacob. Good to see you.
Thank you, Pankaj. A pleasure to be here.
I also have Ajay Agarwal, industry veteran. He's been in the print and packaging space for now maybe over 20 years. He is the managing director and CEO of Insight Communication, which is India's one of the largest distribution and solution provider for the print and packaging industry. Welcome, Ajay. Good to see you. Hope everything is fine.
I look forward to this session.
Yeah, and then I have Mohit Sharma, who has been in the brand space for many years, has worked with a lot of iconic brands, in variety of categories, starting from telecom, FMCG, travel services, and he will talk about himself a bit more. Welcome, Mohit. Good to see you.
Thanks, Pankaj, for a quick introduction. Actually.
And last but not the least, Satyagi Rastogi, who is I would say a college mate. We were in college together from almost 30 years back. We studied together in Calicut. He, after passing out his engineering, he joined the public sector, and he is now a general manager with SIDBI, which is a lead bank for the SME industry. And I thought having him here going to give a different perspective as to how different kind of stakeholders in the industry can avail some of the wonderful schemes and the policies that SIDBI does for the SME sector as a whole. And I'm sure he can throw his light on the print and packaging world. So with that few words, I hand it over to Jacob and to introduce the topic and take it over. And I will join you back towards the end to manage and moderate the Q&A session. Thank you, and have a great session.
Thank you. Thank you, Pankaj. A pleasure to be on board with these personalities of the industry right now. We actually today would be discussing about the perspective of the small and medium and as well as field. The industry, as we say, is a growth industry as far as packaging is concerned, and packaging obviously involves printing as well. I'm not at the present moment of time going to get into the argument of having the printing commercial space going down, packaging going up. Let us consider print and packaging to be one single field. And our point of most important discussion that we need to do today is to find as to how the SMEs are performing and how exactly
tell you that his camera is not working. And he's all the way from US, and there's the last 10 minutes we're trying to sort it out. But unfortunately, we couldn't fix it, but we will be able to go through the presentation. So let me, without delaying much, give you a quick background about, Dr. Box, as is commonly called in industry. Dr. Randy Ferris is a world-renowned packaging consultant. He has been in the consulting space for the packaging industry for now well over a decade. He is part of, he's the president and CEO and a packaging consultant, trainer, a speaker, and he is also an expert witness. He runs Dr. Box Consulting. He has been in the packaging supply chain business for several decades. He has been one of the few consultants in the packaging industry that was a member of the TAPI, which is the Technical Association of the Pulp and Paper Industry. He runs his own paperboard packaging group, which is one of the most active LinkedIn group with over 30,000 members worldwide. And he has been working in the packaging industry and consulting packaging companies globally. So without much of a delay, I would like to call on Randy to take over, and he will not be seen, unfortunately, but you can listen to him while we share the slides. Randy, over to you.
Okay. Thank you for having me this morning. We're having a couple technical difficulties, but we're going to work through those. So if we could start the presentation slides, then I'll start talking. Start on slide 3. Okay, basically, in order to achieve any success with any organization, everyone needs to work towards the same goals. There are a couple of ways to do that. Next slide.
Ever since our founding in 1923, Komori has been resolute about reaching the pinnacle of manufacturing excellence, insisting on products that are unparalleled in quality and reliability. Komori is renowned all over the world as a maker of printing presses and systems. Komori is a global leader in the print world, and our name is synonymous with unwavering reliability.
technical skills, a passion for precision, and a commitment to quality. Müller Martini's founder Hans Müller built his business on these core values to bring you the highest quality, most productive equipment in the graphic arts. Müller Martini advances the state-of-the-art with practical developments that help make you more competitive in the marketplace. Their focus is on efficient management, flexible utilization, and your financial success. That's why
doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Ajit Industries Private Limited is the perfect example of an emerging industry in this era. Ajit Industries Private Limited is recognized as a manufacturer of various types of pressure-sensitive adhesive tape products and
With over 4 decades of experience and third-generation management, Memory is the leading manufacturer of pre-press and now post-press equipment. We at Memory are indebted to its 2 strong pillars, Mr. Balkrishnan, MD, and Mr. D.L. Chadda, Production Director, who started their journey way back in 1968.
it's special for us because I'm Dylan Silva, the first Vice President.
I am from the United States.
I'm the President of Indonesian.
They're representing 250,000 printers. This is a great fair.
Edition of IPAMA is
important because right now has always done great.
Packimpressions welcomes you. The Global Virtual Print and Packaging Expo is packed with excitement, with virtual exhibition booths showcasing latest products and technologies. One can explore, network, and connect with the industry. The Power Pack Knowledge sessions are a real treat. Experience the
It's really a pleasure to, start the much-awaited Packimpression, which is a global virtual printing and packaging expo, which is being conducted here by us, the Last Mile Solutions. I would like right now to kickstart this event with the opening session from Mr. Atul Maheshwari, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Last Mile Solutions. And he will give a brief overview about the whole objective and the inspiration behind this event.